Hi everyone, Courtney Gruenhol's back after a little bit of a break. It's mostly because I couldn't think of anything to make a video on. So I had a lot of time on my hands and I was busy with other things. But now I am back with a video to talk about the newest book that I published and released. So it's technically a part of my Heartsong Saga, but it's its own kind of series now, and it's called the Heartsong Saga Lost Chronicles. And again, it takes place as kind of like little midquels in between the four books of the Heartsong Saga that I wrote. So kind of fills in those gaps in between. So, because we had the prequel novel Starcrossed, and then we had Heartsong, and then Heartsong Reprise, and then a gap in between Reprise and Rebirth. So there was a lot of empty time. That's just the way that I wrote my stories. So, and because, it's my Heartsong Saga, I have on my t-shirt where I have the word heart made out of heart songs. So, stuff, the ones that everybody always knows, like Barracuda and Magic Man and Crazy on You and These Dreams. But this is like a lot of Heart's other songs that make Heart song. So funny. I have a quirky sense of humor. We'll get into that in another video that I plan to do that has nothing to do with books. So kind of a little bit of a teaser. But again, and it's also now October. It is the month of Halloween. So I can't remember what horror movies that I used to talk about and what movies in my collection that I have yet to talk about. But it is my favorite month of the year. But again, we're here to talk about the newest book that I have in this little kind of side series called the Heartsong Saga Lost Chronicles, which makes up the lost years that don't get talked about in my other books. So, when I originally wrote the story, the gaps didn't mean anything, but then since I like writing about my characters, I decided to try to fill in gaps. So, the books are going to be released with 10 stories. Each book will have 2 stories. So, there's going to be a total of 5 books. And going through them, they're going to get longer as it goes, because that's just my process when I write. No rough draft, just what's in my head and, coming to a conclusion. So I have a basic plot outlined, and then I just kind of go with it till I'm done. So each one of these books is going to get longer because it's 2 books in one in an omnibus collection. Because some of the stories that I wrote are too short to be published on their own. So a couple of the stories could be published on their own, but that way, so I don't have like a ton of books, 2 books to each one, so 5 books. So this is the first one that came out. I had it done in glossy cover, but it's called Moonshadows and Strange Magic because the 2 stories in the book are called Moonshadow and Strange Magic. So that's just the title of this collection. And I found a nice picture of the moon that I like, and wraps all the way around and onto the back, where I have my nice little portrait of myself and my little tiny bio. The print is really small to read on the back, but again, I found the font that I like that I used on my Blood Embrace book, so I really like that font. And so the description that I put for it, if you get on Amazon to look up the book on Kindle and paperback, $11.99 paperback, it has the description for the books much clearer than it is on here. So of course I'm learning as I go along, getting these books and covers published for these to try to make them look a little bit, more professional, even though they're not published by any like professional publishing company. But the book runs 296 pages, so almost 300 pages. So a pretty good length for a book. And so it just looks very nice in there. And what I did is all the even numbered pages are blank when going in between chapters and everything. So if a book stops on page 6, the next chapter goes to 7, and I just try to make it a little bit neater and cleaner. So, but this is the first of 5 books in this new Heartsong Saga series, and since the type is very small to read, again, I'm working on it. So it was much bigger on my Blood and Bryce book that I did, because the font auto fits into it, and if you try to make it bigger, sometimes it'll tell you your font is too big. So I was also trying to go for text that people could actually read, because sometimes it seems like the text blends into the book and nobody can read it. And now it's like really, really small in the back, and my eyesight's not the best, so it never really has been very, very good. So, but so basically, it's 2 books in one. The first one, Moonshadow, takes place after Howard and Nancy have gone on their honeymoon in Italy, and then they're back home with their friends, their band members, and their manager Jennifer, Cataluna, and they receive word from Jennifer's father and a family friend that they would like Cataluna to come and play a rock festival that's being held in Dresden, Germany, so that the band can try to get an international following, and also performing at a nightclub, because Jennifer's father has talked to a family friend of hers named Rolf, who is a rock promoter, to try to get the band going before they are getting ready to release their first album. But because of other things that happened in other books, and the other band members having jobs besides being in the rock band, they haven't really gotten around to recording it yet. But this is going to be like a push. So they go to Germany and meet Jennifer's father, Helmut, and his servants, and there's something going on in the town that is unknown to them, but is connected to them. And then they meet another friend of Jennifer's father named Joseph, and he gets entangled into it too. And while they're playing at the festival, notes start coming saying that Nancy's in danger, and Howard starts wondering what's going on, and it has to do with moon becoming full, because once it gets full, something really bad is going to happen if they don't get out of Germany before then. So that's pretty much the first story. The second story, Strange Magic, takes place shortly after Howard and Nancy's son Cameron is born, and they're finishing up a little kind of northeastern kind of tour for their album, kind of going along the north and eastern coast. So now they're supposed to be heading to Salem, Massachusetts to play a Halloween show, and on their way to Salem, their bus breaks down. Jennifer is not in this story. She's in Salem getting ready for their next show, and they get stranded in this town that I made up called Witchery, Massachusetts, and they play up being close to Salem every year for Halloween. They have Halloween carnivals and concerts, and everybody's really big into it. So, of course, because of what happened in Heartsong on Halloween, it's not particularly one of Cataluna's favorite holidays. So, but since they're stranded in this town and they can't get their bus fixed because it's beyond repair. Something happened to it that just totally screwed it up, and they need a whole bunch of parts. And it's going to take a while to get them because they actually tour in a double-decker bus that you would get from England, so they have to order parts for that bus. So it's part of their mystique, how they tour in their bus, and they actually drive their own tour bus because, you know, they're just starting out as a little band. So they get stranded in this town, and everybody's very nice and friendly and accommodating, and it's very like old school Puritan. And my lighting changed because the sun came out. It was raining. It's not raining anymore. So, but that's a nice surprise. So they get stranded in this town, and there is a rock band in this town, and it's called Suki, Storm, and the Furies. And their front woman, Suki, her parents run an occult shop, and they just play up this town. And so Nancy begins to get a little jealous of Suki, and her and Howard start getting into fights, and they start acting really strange. And then Howard starts having these dreams about this town back in its Puritan time, and he's not really sure why he's having these dreams about somebody else's life. But it all comes back around because this is another town like Dresden where something strange is going on. And again, so some of the story plots do seem repetitive, and I kind of like this weird lighting. It's spooky, but it's not because of the sun. So you kind of get distracted. I'm very awkward, remember? So, but yeah, so I have it down as like general fiction and like general romance with kind of paranormal undertones because, you know, witchcraft and magic and stuff. So, but still. So this is my newest book, Moonshadows and Strange Magic. And I will be putting out another book pretty soon. And it'll probably take me a while to talk about it because I released this in September and it's now October, and I'm just now talking about it because I had to wait till I got my author copy. So I have a physical copy in my hand. So again, $11.99 paperback, $2.99 for your Kindle. So until next time, this is Courtney Gruenholz, the Awkward Author, hoping that you have a nice day. Go out and enjoy the sunshine. Until I see you again.